What is up, everybody? My name is Matty, and you're listening to No Nerds Were Harmed, a podcast about movies, comics, games, and all things nerdy. I'm here with my co-host Tyler, and we're also here with our producer Sam. Tyler, welcome back to Illinois. You're back from Hollywood, dude.
What's up?
Tell us, what have you been doing this past month?
So the past month and a half, I've been in LA filming a feature film, a horror feature film. Black Spines. It will be out in theaters or on some streaming service, hopefully by the end of the year. So we'll keep you updated, but crazy experience, awesome. So many cool things. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Hell yeah. Is this going to be like shit your pants scary, or is it going to be like a psychological scary?
I think it's more thriller. It's more thriller, slasher, you know. It's like, got all
like that A24 stuff.
All those good horror elements everyone looks for. It's got all of it. So
nice. Awesome.
Very, very excited to show everyone.
And this is directed by one of our
Jordan
guests
Foss.
that we had, Jordan Foss.
Yes. Who did the Justice League Fancast episode.
Awesome.
Yep.
Super stoked to hear more about this.
Directorial debut.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Ooh, go Jordan.
Hell yeah. Well, let everybody know what we got going on for this episode.
This episode, we are covering the most anticipated Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, this was a fun watch. But we got nerd news for everybody. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's just going to be spoilers and some spoiler-free for you guys. We got our read, play, watch, and let everybody know what's going on our next episode. For our nerd news, the first piece I have is Beetlejuice 2. We had told everybody a while back, maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, that Beetlejuice 2 was just up in the air. It was something that might happen. And it was our Beetlejuice episode that we actually talked about this.
Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii.
Yes, Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii. So
it's happening.
They're doing it. And this is official now. They've given a release date. So November 6th, 2024.
Crazy.
We're getting it.
And today, the day we're recording this, news broke that William Dafoe is cast. And I hope he's like fucking Beetlejuice's like cousin. Like, give me him to be another rival demon Beetlejuice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just another creep.
Oh, dude. I can't wait.
It is, they do have Catherine O'Hara coming back as the Dietz, Mama Dietz. I can't remember her first name. They are also going to have Winona Ryder coming back. Michael Keaton's coming back. And then they have Jenny Ortega coming into it to play Lydia's daughter. So, I mean, it's got a stacked cast so far.
Oh,
interesting. Yeah.
I'm excited. As long as Keaton's there, I'm there.
Delia Dietz.
Piggybacking off the last episode, Old Boy, my kind of comic book to movie recommendation that I recommended, it's getting a remastered and re-released in theaters August 16th.
August 16th, okay.
Yeah. So it's coming. The trailer's out. They kind of show you it. Great movie.
Because it's celebrating the anniversary is what they're doing, right?
Correct. I believe it's the 20th.
20 years.
Yeah,
Damn.
20th anniversary.
That's awesome.
Nuts.
Are you going to be seeing this in theaters? This one that
I
you're
might go see it in theaters, actually, because it's some of the craziest. A lot of the action you see in this movie are like crazy action scenes. Like everyone talks about the Daredevil hallway scene and shit like that. It's like you watch Old Boy, you're like, oh yeah, that's where this shit comes from. John Wick, that kind of shit.
Maybe I won't watch it at home and then just save it for seeing it in theaters.
Yeah, dude. It's heavy, it's action, it's brutal, but it's awesome.
That's why I was on the last episode. Yeah, you heard me talk about it. I read the spoiler for it, and I was like, "What the fuck, Tyler?"
It's crazy.
Like,
it's a crazy movie.
What the fuck am I reading right now?
But it's dope. It has some of the craziest action shit that like is in cinematic. Like, oh yeah.
It sounds like it would be really good twists to see acting wise on screen.
Now you see, I'm the spoiler guy, and I'm avoiding this. But she read the spoiler,
There you go.
Yeah.
We got
Look
some.
what's happening.
What a twist! 2 twists.
Crisscross.
So August 16th though. So if you missed it and you haven't watched it yet and you got kind of enticed by the last episode of it, maybe August 16th is your chance to go see it in theaters if you want.
The other piece I have is another legacy thing, and it's that Freaky Friday 2. We had brought that up on another episode, is that's moving forward as well. Jamie Lee Curtis is coming out of...
We just can't stop this woman.
She's won an Oscar now, dude.
Yeah.
She's going to be fucking on everything now.
She
Christmas with the Cranks 3.
Yes. Yes.
I don't even think they made a part 2.
I don't know.
No, but they're going right to 3.
They're going right
Fuck
to
it.
3.
Dude,
She can have whatever she wants.
you bring me True Lies 2, I'll be stoked too, man. Bring it back. Tom Arnold and everybody. I'm down.
My last piece of nerd news is something kind of deep cut. Slusho.com. Do you know about this?
I read a headline for it, but I didn't look into
So
it.
Slusho was a Slurpee brand in Cloverfield.
Yeah.
When Cloverfield first came out, Slusho.com was a website you could go to. Matt Reeves, he did Cloverfield 1.
Yeah.
He did RadaAlada.com. You remember when that was a big episode for us, I feel like. When that broke, we freaked out and did an emergency press conference type of interview.
Yes.
So Slusho.com, which was from Cloverfield, Matt Reeves. So again, I think this is all Matt Reeves' brainchild of just being genius and loving to do this. Slusho.com mysteriously came back online a couple weeks ago.
Have you went to it?
I have, and it works. It's a normal website. It's just like from what I can tell and what people are saying, it's just like the old one, but it's back online after being offline for a long time.
Nice.
So it's one of those things of like, exactly, and I love it. This is the type of shit I love. Like, is another Cloverfield coming? I don't know. Is Matt Reeves have anything to do with this? I don't know. Did someone just get the IP to Slusho.com because it's been fucking 10, 15 years? Maybe. I don't know, but this is the shit I love, man. This is the nerd news I fucking love.
Just sitting on the edge of your seat waiting to see what the fuck happens
It
one day.
unlocks
So
all
you
the
can go
conspiracy theories.
Slusho.com. You can go right now, and it's a fucking slushy website that's just like back in the day for the Cloverfield movie.
It's almost it's like a guilty pleasure franchise. Like, they're not great movies by any means,
No, but
they're fun.
They're
They're
awesome
interesting.
in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we'll keep everyone updated on that. So, some trailers that we wanted to talk about in this episode. The first one comes out on June 9th, and it is Flaming Hot. This is Eva Longoria's directorial debut, and it's about the invention of Flaming Hot Cheetos.
This is a niche movie that'll probably make money because it's just like Cocaine Bear, where right now, like, people, like, gravitate towards this kind of shit, and it's a niche little weird fun movie that people are gonna probably go watch because
You just
why
want
not?
shit to laugh at and make you feel good.
Yeah, and it does look like more of a comedy type movie.
It's essentially Air, but with Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
and I'm down for it, man.
But less dramatic.
yeah, I'll end up seeing it. I'm sure I will end up seeing it.
This is a Hulu release.
Yeah,
so
so
you don't have to go to
especially it's on
theaters. You
Hulu.
just got to toss it on.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than it's
The
a
production-
movie about the creation of Flaming Hot.
I feel like I've
That's
heard
what it is.
rumors of like, oh, the dude who made it was a janitor in the factory.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Right.
we're gonna see that story unfold. So I'm stoked for it.
The next trailer is July 21st, Oppenheimer, which is a movie that's super anticipated. Christopher Nolan's next feature film. It's one of those where I feel like Christopher Nolan movies have become just events in themselves, where it's like, oh, Christopher Nolan's new movie. He can get any actor he wants. He can pretty much get whatever budget he wants and do whatever content he wants, whether it's his original, whether it's historical, which he's done both. And Oppenheimer this is all for all the marbles. That's what it feels like they've built this movie to be.
Yeah.
Like, whether it is to him or not, I don't know, because he fucking took 10 years to write Inception, so I don't know what this movie is comparison to that. But it feels like this is the one that everyone's like, this is cinema. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it feels like they've built this thing up to be, and I'm fucking there for every second of it.
Yeah, the cast in it is fucking stacked. The cast looks amazing.
It's everyone. It's anyone and everyone.
It really is. Fucking Robert Downey Jr., like Florence Pugh, Cillian Murphy looks fucking fantastic.
Dude, everyone.
Josh
everyone.
Peck.
I was say, yeah, that's
Matt
what I'm saying.
Damon.
Like, everyone.
Matt Damon, yeah.
Because that's the power of Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
It's not about money at all. It's about, like, literally Christopher Nolan calls you to be in his movie. Yeah, I'm going to be in on it.
Absolutely. The new trailer was very good.
Yeah, it's very good, but at the same
was
time, too,
kinda
it's not
long.
like rock your socks off crazy, like,
Yeah.
good, but it's enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to see that. Because that's what Christopher Nolan does best with his trailers.
He does.
Like, it's just like, it's enough where it doesn't ruin anything, but it's enough to be like, yeah, I'll go see that.
It was
I can't wait, dude.
it was slightly long. There was a part that it got to a certain part in the trailer that I was like, how much longer is this fucking trailer I got? I was like, don't tell me too much. I know. I think you're just showing off your cast at this point is what that trailer was. But yeah, it does look amazing.
To do, and it's like, goddamn, every scene, it's like, that guy's in this, this guy's in this, holy shit, she's in this.
Going up against Barbie.
It's gonna fucking nuke it.
It is.
gonna nuke
I
it.
don't know.
I like
I don't
that.
know. I know. I like that. You like that? I don't know, because, like, money wise, I don't know what it's gonna make. I think longevity, it kills fucking Barbie.
I think so,
Opening
yeah.
weekend, I don't know.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be literal like guys and girls like getting dates to each other and being like, okay, I'm going to Barbie, I'm going to Oppenheimer. See you later. We'll see you in 2 hours, dude.
This is a movie that's going to have longevity, though, because it's coming out at such a crucial time relative to the world of everything that's going on overseas. You're going to get those people going to see it like, hey, this is why we shouldn't have nuclear war. Look at how well it worked out the first time. So
Probably.
I think this is going to
depending on
have...
what crazy spin Christopher Nolan puts on it, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of movie?
It'll be
we
a
could blow up at the end
multifaceted
and be in
message.
fucking Inception. It could be all a ruse.
My last piece of nerd news kind of transitions into Guardians of the Galaxy. This writer strike that's going on.
Yes.
This is going to affect Marvel, so I
It's gonna
wanted to
affect
bring...
everyone in the film
It
industry.
really is. So right now it's affecting a lot of late night TV. Some shows that it's going to be affecting is Andor, Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, Jeopardy, Saturday Night Live.
Everything, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I didn't realize that it was going to affect as much, but then I did the research from the writer strike in 2008, and I was like, man, these are shows that I love that it fucked up. And it was like Prison Break, Scrubs, Supernatural, Heroes. I fucking loved Heroes. Lost was one of my all-time favorite shows, and it deeply
Because
affected
people don't
that.
realize, like, a lot of, especially TV shows that are, like, shooting in season, they have the writers on set. They
Yeah.
have those people on set to make changes and write things on things. Now you can't do that. Now you can't change a single word on the script. When you film something, you change shit all the time, and the writer's there to okay that. Sometimes you don't need that. So unless you shoot it verbatim, which very rarely happens, you can't really get anything done. And then you get other things like where you know, like you see SAG supporting the writers and you see the Teamsters supporting the writers, where like if they see a strike happening, that they will strike as well right there. So like it's just work stopping all over the place right now because the writers are on strike right now, which again, like any union in the industry, they're fighting for better wages and better contracts in regards to streaming and TV, because that's newer territory, so to say, you know. And then they're also, you know, they threw in at the last second, which is fucking smart, but it's also a scary thing with the use of AI not able to happen. The writers are more so concerned that like studios are going to buy their script, feed it into this AI system or program, whatever they want to use, so it can learn how to write movies better, and then that it can pump out a script. So they're using their material to kind of fucking smarten up this AI. And this is from what I've read and researched too, because I'm trying to fucking understand this. This could be bullshit as well. But from what I understand, that's kind of their battle on it, because I don't think they can just say, like, no AI, ban AI. But they are trying to get ahead of this, because it's a fucking issue when an AI can do. It's like kids today with homework and shit. Like, I've seen...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have cousins and shit in college, and I know, you know, people that have kids in college and stuff that where they're like, yeah, dude, my kid will fucking have an AI program write their paper. It's like, it's crazy. So they can do it with a script. They can do it with this shit now.
So the only thing that I kind of took away from some of the research, like you had said, you know, this is just, it could be bullshit. We know it's real, but for what we know, our research, we don't know what's bullshit and what's actually true, is that studios were asking AIs to write a script, and then they were giving that script that the AI wrote to the writers and saying, hey, can you clean this up?
I could see that happening.
And I was like, oh, shit.
I could see that
so
happening.
they were like,
so vice versa. It's they're feeding the script to the AI to say, hey, learn from this. Hey, fix this AI script up. It's just all, and as a writer, I can see how this is extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, believe me, I understand how this is like, for art and the craft and all that shit, how this is like a big no, you know? So it's something real going on, though. And that's something that may affect us. Like, right now, you're not going to feel the effects, because people are, the shit you're seeing on TV now has been shot a year ago.
Yes.
It's going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, all of a sudden you're going to be like, why isn't there anything new on TV? Why isn't there anything new on theaters?
Yeah.
Because a writer strike was happening for X amount of months. And that shit rolls over. Hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully they just fucking give the writers more props, dude. I'm all for fucking give them more money, give them more, because without the writers, you don't see any of this shit.
No, exactly.
Like, you don't realize how good a good script and a good story will get you, and how far it will take you is amazing. And that's like kind of the unsung hero.
Yeah, we wish all the writers good luck and everything, and hopefully it turns out into their favor.
And quick.
Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. I want to hit lightly on the other films first. So Guardians of the Galaxy 1 came out in 2014, directed by James Gunn. He's the dude who did The Suicide Squad. Has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience and for the fucking
Fantastic
critics.
movie.
It's a wonderful movie. I remember we saw it in theaters 3 times. Sam and I loved
I
it.
didn't see it in theaters because I had no interest, and then my uncle was like, "Yo, have you seen this movie?" I was like, "No," and he gave me the DVD because he bought it. I watched it, and then I never gave it back to him. I just kept it because it was so good.
You want to apologize to him right now?
No, because he told me, he's like, "I'm just gonna buy another one, so you can just hold on to that." After I kept it for like a month and a half.
Gotcha.
So it's so good.
It is. It's a fantastic movie. We just rewatched it, and yeah, it's still fucking good. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out in 2018. Again, directed by James Gunn, the dude who made Peacemaker TV show. It's got an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critics, and then an 87 on the audience score.
Yeah,
I think it's a little high.
I do too.
I think
Not
the
the
second
best, but it's an okay sequel in a trilogy.
Yes.
There's much more movie 2s in a 3 movie set that are worse. It's
Yeah.
not the worst, but it's not the best at all.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And then this new one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Again, directed by James Gunn, the dude who's going to be directing Superman Legacy and taking on the DC Universe. This movie currently has an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critics and a 95% for the audience.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I liked it a
Very
whole
much
bunch.
so. Very much enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I know that I'm going to hit some things on my spoiler-free review, but I know a lot of people have their gripes with it, and it's mostly because of the cruelty to animals. But other than that, I haven't...
Fuck that, dude. No.
That's all I've been really hearing, man.
That's the whole arc of the goddamn character. That's the point of the god. That's what makes him a bad fucking guy. See, this is my... Oh, my God.
I guess it's
Do your damn spoiler-free review so that way we can just get into this shit, because this is the shit I'm talking about. People today drive me nuts when it comes to movies. It's insane.
So Gunn concludes his space opera beautifully with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. If you liked any of the Guardians movies, I think that you'll like this one, especially if you're a fan of Rocket. The characters are great, the sets are awesome, the story is heartfelt and gut-busting funny at times. A lot of people are expressing issues with the cruelty towards animals that happens throughout, and it can be intense at times, but my 4 and 7-year-old had no issues, so get the fuck over it. They're CGI animals.
All right. Let's get into this. So...
Spoilers from now on?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
spoilers from now on, guys.
It's done. You know, if you haven't seen any of the Guardians, probably go see the other Guardians before you watch this movie.
I do have that in here. So if you're gonna watch this movie, you don't need to watch any other Marvel thing.
No, you need to watch Guardians 1 and 2.
Guardians 1 and 2, and then the holiday special.
Yeah.
If to know what's going on with Gamora, you need to watch at least the holiday special because they recap it, or watch Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame.
And that's it.
True.
But if you don't want to do 3 hours, watch the holiday special. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah, I guess. Watch Endgame.
Yes. So we can go in order. We can just fucking talk about this. Okay. Rocket is made by this dude who's trying to make a higher
This dude
species.
screams every single line he has in this movie, by the way. And it's awesome.
So have you seen Quantumania yet, by chance?
No.
Okay.
And that's
so,
the one thing I was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to fuck me up. But
but he's a better villain than Kang was in that movie, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, he's so much more intense.
The High Evolutionary is pretty
literally,
good.
because I said it, shout out Bub, I said it to Bub halfway through. I was like, dude, this guy has yelled every single line that he's had. And then, like, by the end of it, every time he would yell, like, we were snickering in our chairs. But I loved it. I loved every second of it. He was an awesome bad guy. And it wasn't a bad guy again. What they do with Adam Warlock in this movie, the funny thing about Adam Warlock is everyone jumped on the Adam Warlock train of like, oh my God, Adam Warlock's coming into this goddamn movie. Mm-hmm. No one really knows who the fuck Adam Warlock is.
I still don't.
Correct, exactly. But everyone's like, oh, he's the most perfect man. This is going to be the craziest villain of all time. And no one knew who the fuck Adam Warlock is, including me. And he comes on screen, and he's the biggest dork we've ever seen in our lives. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But right away, I was like, they're going to turn him into this fucking anti-hero bullshit that Marvel's done for every movie. We've seen them do it with Gore. Every single movie has been anti-hero. And they did kind of do that with him. But then they had this dude who's just this piece of shit, like, tests on PETA's nightmare.
Yeah.
Testing on animals all the time. And it was like, oh, he's the clear bad guy. And it was just never from start to finish, like, that was the fucking bad guy. Adam Warlock came in, did his little bullshit, was kind of inconsequential.
He was like a smoke and mirror, though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you thought he was going to be the bad guy.
Correct.
And it was like, never mind.
Correct, and that, like, it was kind of a waste of a character in a way, but
Oh,
at the
they
same
underutilized
time,
him
like,
for sure.
it didn't matter at all either because it was kind of funny how he just became this little fucking joke dork kind of dude when everyone thought he was going to be the big baddie of the whole thing, and it wasn't at all. But this like movie's like 75% flashbacks too. Like, there's so much time spent in other places that isn't the like mission or the now, but not in a bad way. Like, it was incredibly paced.
I was gonna say there are some people who don't like the pacing of it. They wish it would have got the flashback all at once versus
I
throughout. I thought it was
great
in a Memento kind of way.
This
It was
movie
good.
felt literally like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie met Star Wars in all of the best ways. And like, again, do I think it broke the mold where I walked out like the Batman, where like I saw cinema different? No, but I was like, dude, not only did we have so much fun, like this was a good ass story. The acting is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, while Rocket's fucking like going through it and almost dying, Chris Pratt's 45 seconds of acting there is the best acting he's ever done in his fucking life. It is fucking incredible.
I felt it.
And so like all the performances, the jokes, it's the best movie Marvel's had in a while.
And
I think it's got the most heart in a while.
I know that
too.
you've had a lot of issues with
And I have,
Marvel,
yeah.
and rightfully so. There's been a lot of shit stinker films come out, and it shows as well.
Yep.
So I'm glad that they finally put a W on the board for you.
real.
So
And
that's
and
good.
like I was very nervous because it's the third movie. It's a closing of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn's out of there, and this has given me more hope for Superman than I ever had.
Okay.
Like this has put me in. Now again, can he do this with DC? Whole different beast.
Let's hope, yeah.
Like this has been like, okay, again, every time I kind of doubt James Gunn, it's like, oh yeah, this guy fucking understands comic books and understands
He comes
comic
and
book
kicks you in
movies.
the teeth like, hey.
he literally knows the material he's doing. So to that, it's hats off to all fucking degrees, man.
So this movie is essentially about the Guardians having to save Rocket. And like you had mentioned a few moments ago, that this is mostly flashbacks. It's all Rocket's flashbacks up to how he was made, how he grew, how he made friends, how he lost those friends. And, you know, I said that they're trying to save him, and it's because he gets hurt. And when they try to fucking fix him, there's something in his body and his heart
Yeah, it's like
a fail safe that it's going to kill him.
If they try to like alter with his body at all, it blows up his heart. It's
Yes.
like a defense mechanism because whoever created Rocket was like, no one can tamper with this specimen.
So they need to go and find this safe code so that way they can actually work on him and save him. But they've got a time limit. They got like 2 days or 3 days. I can't remember what the fuck they say,
Right.
but there's a time limit of they got to get this shit done. And the only way to do that is to go to his original maker, who is the High Evolutionary. Yeah. And the purpose of the
psychopath.
Yeah, his whole purpose of what he was doing is that he was trying to make the perfect
He's like super
ecosystem.
Darwin. He's
Super
bad guy
Darwin meets Hitler to
Yeah,
make the
yeah,
Aryan
correct.
race.
Yeah, correct.
Like,
Yes,
is
yes, but with
100%
animals.
what he is, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'll say this is why this movie's so good, and I think it's better than a lot of the other Marvel movies as of late. It's a fucking Guardians movie. It has there's no goddamn Captain Marvel, there's no goddamn Doctor Strange, there's no other than the random Ravager that has a sling ring. That was crazy. Anyways, other than that, there's no other superhero, no other bullshit. It's literally about the squad, and it's actually kind of dumb. Like, the story's not crazy. It's like them trying to just figure out, Rocket's passed out dying. They're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And everyone in the crew is kind of having this, like, life moment where it's like, the old Guardians, you can tell, it's not what it once was. And it's kind of time to either go your other ways or find new things. And they all are having that in their own kind of ways. And that's what's kind of cool about this movie. Like, I'll admit, Chris Pratt, it felt like watching him that he was overplaying Star-Lord in this movie.
Okay.
And I loved it because it's like, for that character, you could tell he was like tired of, he wanted to kind of be Peter Quill. Like, he's fucking, like, there's moments of all these characters, the journey they take at the end, you can see early on in this movie. And you can tell it's like, it's not like getting the band back together. It was like watching the band break up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in like a
Slowly.
nice way.
Slowly,
Like, in
nicely,
a very
yeah.
like beautiful, like fun, happy way.
I agree.
Everyone,
And like, not many third movies are like that. It's always like, oh, movie 2, everyone's broken. Movie 3, we're getting the band back together, defeating the bad guy, taking on the world. And this was not that. This was like, literally someone in the crew went down, which was one of also my favorite parts. You have sad emo, just Chris Pratt, the first like 15, 30 minutes of this movie. And then all of a sudden Rocket gets taken and he's like, we're about to go fucking fuck the whole universe up.
Yep.
And you instantly, as a fan of Guardians, be like, oh yeah. And everyone in the movie's like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do some dumbass shit, but like, we're about to go fucking get Rocket back. And you're like, that's my Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Is he Captain America? No, not by the slightest. But I know there's not one thing that can come in front of them to get them from stopping them from getting Rocket.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that kind of camaraderie is what Guardians has built over these 3 movies, where like when they flip that switch of like, well, we got to go, we're about to do some dumbass shit because we got to go get our boy back. It's like, yes, give me it.
It was great. It really is something, because they go through these different things throughout the entire time. All these characters have expressed something about Rocket of like, I love when Nebula defends Star-Lord against Gamora because she just wants to leave at one point. Nebula says, that rat that's on that table has made upgrades to me and he's done great things for me. There's no way I'm letting him die. Yeah. I'm not dropping you off to help you out to leave him to die. It's not going to happen. And Gamora's like, I'm family. And she's like, so is he.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, man. Yeah. I'm gonna say right now, dude, there's so many times that I cried in this fucking... I think I cried...
I knew you were going to cry in this movie a lot. As I was watching this, I was like, I bet Matty cried there. I literally, in my mind, I was like, I guarantee you Matty cried at that part. There's a lot of like life parallels that you can draw to your own life in this like fucking galactic adventure that's just like, goddamn. And this was my favorite Nebula appearance by far.
She did great.
I fucking loved. I want to go back and watch the old movies of Nebula now.
Yeah.
To see if I've missed something this whole time. Because in this movie, I was like, I fuck with you, girl. One part, she's like, he's getting a fucking worse torture than me. And we all saw her get her fucking brains teared out of her body, where it was like, oh my God. And again, the way she danced with Peter and also Gamora, and she's just caught in this middle of this stupid situation. And it's not this weird like love triangle either. It's just literally like Nebula being like, I'm just trying to kind of fix shit and put it back to where it was, because that was like finally something that felt normal when I've been this like weird bad guy my whole life. And she can't do it, Peter can't do it, and Gamora is just hilarious in this movie because you forget how crazy, like, psycho Gamora is when you first meet her. But, like, Quill kind of breaks her so quick in that first movie where they get that going so quick that you forget how, like, ruthless she is. And in this movie, she's just balls to the wall, crazy Gamora the whole time. It's awesome. In this movie, I laughed for a minute straight. There was a minute where I laughed so hard, I was crying. And I wish, but I laughed for so long that by the time I was done laughing, I couldn't remember why I started laughing in the first place. But I know the scene that the end of it happened at. It ended with them in the elevator when he was yelling about the magic cliff. When Peter's just monologuing.
Oh, yes.
Monologuing and just bitching and kind of recapping all of like the Avengers and like Guardian movie like events. And he's just going. But then even the scene before that, and that's the one I can't remember what came right before that. So if you're listening, you know, fucking comment it. Because it's driving me nuts. But something happens right before that I was laughing so hard that just tailored right into him going on this like minute-long monologue to Gamora in the elevator, who doesn't give a shit about what he's talking about. I was literally in the theater crying, like laughing out loud for a minute. I could not stop. I have not laughed that hard in a Marvel movie ever in my life.
So one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they go to Orgoscope. It's like the planet. It's the biological planet. Yeah, there's like a bottle. This is one of the scenes. Like I love this whole scene. Like you just mentioned
that's
the
where I laughed.
The like, elevator scene. Like
this is where the elevator scene.
Orgocorp. So I fucking loved the scene, and I brought it up today to the girls. We were just watching a movie, and it was this part where they were trying to convince Nathan Fillion's like security dude. They were like, "You just busted in here, and we were fucking." And Drax he's like, "I'm angry too," and you just know how bad Drax is. But then they all leave, and they start yelling at Mantis because she threw the clothes in there, and then they're out in space, and Drax goes, "Are we still pretending to be angry?" And he goes, "Mantis, you asshole!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" There's so many funny parts in this movie, but one of them in this scene is when Peter hits his button on his suit because he wants to talk to Gamora.
Dude.
And I did like this scene, but it went on way too fucking long for me.
But the Guardians do that. That's their kind of comedy that I found in these movies, is they like to play the like, we're going to fucking talk this joke to death. because they all, like, every fucking 7 members of them now have to comment on how they feel about this joke, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. It's very, like, routine-y, old, like, who's on first type, sticky. It's not the best all the time, but it's funny because it builds the world, because they always are kind of informing you how they feel, so when shit happens and they don't comment on it, you know exactly how all these characters feel about all this shit.
It's like Drax on the couch as well, when he keeps wanting to lay down, and I'm like, I get it, man. I get it.
One of those was funny. The one where he caught him like half going down, he catches him half like sleeping, and that one made me
He's
laugh.
like, why would they make it oblong?
Yeah.
So like the parts are funny, but I'm like, come on, guys, it's dragging a little bit. You can cut off a minute of this whole fucking movie. Those minutes count. But no, it was a funny scene. This, like you had said, Gamora in this is super cool because she's a different person. She's like, oh, dude. She's got a gun to this woman's head. She's like, I'm gonna blow her brains out if you guys don't listen to me. I'm like, holy shit, this is definitely
one of my
Gamora.
favorite scenes is when Peter sweet talking the guard to give him all the information, and he's like, Gamora, watch this, and he's like, blah 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 blah, and he gets her to do everything, and she's like, ready for that like moment, and then Peter's like, yeah, I'm not interested in you at all, and then he just turns to Gamora, he's like, told her she was into me, and just walks off, and she has that smile of like kind of impressed for a second. It was like, that's the old Star-Lord, like, because my favorite MCU superhero introduction was the Star-Lord one, where the fucking bitch is in the back of the spaceship. He wakes up and the alien bitch is like, Peter, where are we going? And he's like, who are you? Like, I totally forgot you were back there. One of the greatest intros I've ever seen to a superhero. So it's like the fact he's still like the man. And again, like when Star-Lord grabs those guns and drops the hammer, he fucks dudes up.
Oh, yeah.
He fucks people up. And this movie, some of the fight scenes, like we got a hallway scene. James Gunn loves his slow-mo hallway scenes. He's done it in every movie now.
Yeah.
Dude, we saw Groot, like, disembowel a dude, go through him, and then, like, come back through him, and then use him as a goddamn hammer.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, let's break down this fucking hallway scene, because
my God.
Honestly, it's like this scene is fake. It's mostly CGI.
Oh, it's all CGI.
But it looks fucking...
It's like it's like
crazy
the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn one on steroids.
Okay,
like, that's what it is. It's like, we're going to do that, and then instead of just doing it for her, we're going to do it for the entire Guardians. This is going to be their team-up moment of, like, literally watching... To me, I turned to Bob. I was like, dude, we're watching comic book panels. This is what a fight scene in a comic book panel would look like. You would get Drax or fucking Groot tree fucking sniping someone through their nose, lifting them up. You would get Drax double stabbing some dudes while Rocket jumps off his back. You know what I mean? Like, you would get everything we got in that fight scene was literally moving comic books.
And one of the greatest things about this scene in particular is that, so in the first Guardians movie, there's a lot of action, but it seems like everyone's separately doing things, as well as the second movie on the battle on Ego's planet, and Groot's inside with the bomb, and Drax is somewhere else, and Peter's fighting his dad. We never get a scene where all of them are fighting in the same scene.
Right.
And even on Orgoscope, they're all in their own things. But in this fucking hallway scene, we see them all work together as a fucking team. And it's amazing. It's so fucking cool when, like, Groot puts his branches out over and fucking Rocket's running along it. You're like, holy shit,
let's also talk about how when Peter hands Groot the guns fucking 45 minutes into the movie, everyone's like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Yeah. And then fucking an hour later, you forget all about it. Peter's like, Groot, now. And Groot fucking reveals that he's a goddamn walking arsenal that just keeps guns compiled in his chest. And it's like, yeah, why wouldn't he do that? That's the coolest shit in the world. Yep. And they're back to back, like fucking Bad Boys style. Just shooting everybody.
Fucking Groot puts out a shield in front of him. Guns. Puts a shield in front of Peter, like, to protect him. Like,
that's that comic book shit that it's like, yes.
It's the teamwork in this movie is just amazing.
Even when Groot gets off that ship, when they crash land on, like, other Earth, and, like, Groot becomes the, like, giant Groot to scare people, I was like, that's badass as fuck too, dude. Like, this is comic book movies. Like, without feeling, I don't know, I can't put my thumb on, like, why Doctor Strange doesn't feel like this. Because it should. It's just as much crazy shit. But it just doesn't feel like this, man. Why didn't Thor Love and Thunder feel like this? It just doesn't. Even when the Guardians were there, it didn't feel the same. And it's just, and you got to chalk that up to James Gunn. It's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving my props to him, man.
Even the fucking fight scene, the final fight scene between the Guardians and the High Evolutionary, when he's trying to hurt Rocket, we get to see everybody come in and take a punch at the High
Oh,
Evolutionary.
they all fuck him up.
And I'm like, this is great. And it even ends with Gamora's the one who does it. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, because
she
forget
didn't
she's
care.
a fucking crazy, just warrior woman.
But it wasn't until like midway of this movie that, for the most part, she's saying, fuck Rocket, whatever.
Yep.
Just give him back the fucking raccoon. And then it finally turns in the middle point when they're on Counter Earth and she's got to defend Rocket up against Adam Warlock. She takes him and gets away, and it's like, now she cares. This is a turning point for Gamora where we're seeing her actually care about
that's
what's going
cool
on.
too, because this movie, very quickly I started to worry, like, oh, this is just going to be the prequel trying to get Gamora back movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, motherfucker.
I thought so too, yeah, for sure.
And like midway through, Peter's like, look, I get you don't fucking like me anymore, and at this moment, I wish you felt different, but at the same time, I'm going to go fucking save Rocket. So whether you're in or out, I don't really give a shit. And it's like, after he does that, is also when Gamora starts like being like, oh wow, these guys are a team, we need to help these guys out. So they kind of ditch all that bullshit. And even at the end, it ends with them like not getting back together. It ends with like Peter being like, yo, I wish this was different, but you're your own person, go do your thing. She goes and does her like fucking Ravengers thing. Peter goes back to fucking Grandpa, which is crazy.
I mean, yeah, while we're on that, let's talk about everyone's fucking endings.
Yeah.
Were you satisfied? So, I mean, we're in the spoilers. Nobody dies.
Yeah,
Everyone
I was
lives.
really hoping someone died, but in the moment I was like, Rocket can't die.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was like, he's the one that should die, but it was like the whole time I was like, fucking Rocket can't die. I knew Groot wasn't going to die because you can't kill him. He's been blown up even in this movie, he got his fucking head cut off at some point, was just walking around like a head. I was like, all right, Groot's just fucking going to make it through anything. But I was like, I was hoping someone would die. But I didn't get it, and at the end, I didn't feel totally gypped, though, because they ended it in such a good way, because, again, it wasn't all this cheesy, happy ending. It was happy, but, like, everyone else was still, like...
It was broken. They were
like,
broken apart, so in a way, it wasn't a happy ending.
Correct.
But
and
it was,
didn't feel like it was like, here's all the sequels coming. It was like, yeah, you could make sequels out of this shit, but you could tell James Gunn was like, yo, I'm done with the Guardians, man.
Yeah.
So, like...
And I agree, dude. Like...
Leave it, man.
I agree. Like you had said, Gamora goes off. She's still a Ravenger, and she joins. She gets the hug from Sylvester Stallone's
like,
character.
She's on like the upper tier Ravenger.
She's found
proved
her
herself
family.
as a
She's
big Ravager.
she's found her family as Ravenger. You had said that Peter goes back to Earth. He visits his grandpa. Very happy ending for him. This is good. You know, I couldn't see him going anywhere else other than staying with the Guardians.
Right.
Rocket and Groot decide to continue,
which makes total sense too.
Yeah,
it's like Rocket
they
and
need
Groot,
to be together.
They're fucking yeah, they need to stay together. We also get a kind of a tease to King Groot.
Yes,
that's King Groot's fucking the crown of King Groot. The last image we see of Groot is King Groot. And it's like, oh. Again, don't read Guardians comics. I have no idea who King Groot is, but I played King Groot in a video game on my phone before and was like, King Groot's a badass. So I'm into it. So the fact I got that little shout out, I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yep.
But like, it makes sense that like Rocket, obviously, like Rocket's a criminal. There's no other way around it. He's a good dude. Everyone loves Rocket.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's a great dude. He's a smart guy, but he's a fucking criminal. He's crazy. So like, he should definitely continue on the Guardians being these rogue. And the End Guardians crew is awesome.
Yes,
They're
he's the
stacked
captain
of just
now.
Mixed like the most CD people of all time.
So they got Adam Warlock is in their group now. He's with Blurp, the little fucking
the
alien
little like
creature
dog thing that they created, which is also pretty funny. It could have got annoying quick, but like they did the perfect amount. Like it wasn't the screaming goat effect. It was like they commented enough how this thing was weird and cute, but also like inconsequential. Where it wasn't like a goose where all of a sudden it like turned into a huge monster and ate a bunch of stuff. It was just like literally an alien puppy.
Then they also have Kraglin who is there.
Yep.
He knows how to use. I like that it didn't.
Dude.
So the second movie ended with him trying to learn how to use Yondu's fucking arrow.
Yeah.
And it began this movie with him still learning. He's not great at it.
That's what I love,
because
that makes sense for Kraglin. Like Kraglin's been this like dopey kind of character. And you had the moment where he's like, I need this to work, and it's only a half hour to this movie. And I remember sitting there, I was like, this is going to go bad in the worst of ways. And sure shit, goes bad because he can't do it, you know what I mean?
Stabs Nebula.
Hilarious, dude.
And then Cosmo, who is the dog with the astronaut suit.
The Russian dog.
Yes, she
also had some hilarious moments.
She did the bag dog part, which that was another joke that kept going on and on. I was like,
but it was funny, dude.
The payoff for it was great. And then they also have one of the kids that was an orphan child from the High Evolutionary.
The Jubes.
Her name is Phila, and I had no idea. So the first time that I watched it, I didn't even notice that she had powers. Like her hand glue had a glow to it, and her eyes sparked as well. No. Didn't even notice it. So I noticed it the second time around. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So she has some type of Captain Marvel powers that it looked like to me. But it's a funny scene because they're talking about their favorite songs, and they're like, oh, what's your favorite song? And then it goes into Rocket saying, oh, I have a special place in my heart for this one. And he plays Come and Get Your Love, and from with the opening song from the first movie, which was, it was a beautiful scene. I loved it. Some people have an issue with this scene, though, because the whole movie's been about Rocket protecting animals, and now these creature animals are coming towards him.
Weird ending. Weird movie. Like, it is weird that the whole movie literally is about protecting animals, and now creature animals are running in, and Rocket's like, let's fucking kill them all. I literally was like, okay.
So the way that
it's hilarious.
The way that it worked in my head was that Rocket and the Guardians have been on this planet for maybe a day. And then they went to reason with these creatures, because who knows if they could talk. This is my head. This is my fucking...
This is already way too much for me to have to explain your bullshit. It's just weird. That's a weird move. I'll give it to him. But that's my one gripe with this movie.
He went to talk to them, and they were like, fuck that. We're going to kill that town. And Rocket was like, that's cool. We're going to be waiting for you guys. So they tried to reason with them, and that was the way that I saw it in my head to make Rocket not a bad guy.
Maybe. I don't really care, because these things are obviously vicious creatures. So whatever. You got to kill what you got to kill.
He goes to make
But it's just a weird move to, like, you could have had them fight anything, because it's the end of the movie, and they just, like, decided to do, like, wild alien animals. Kind of weird when the whole movie is about saving them.
Yes.
Weird move, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's some deep cut fucking villain shit from
could be
Guardian comics that I don't know about that James Gunn does, like the trench monsters from Aquaman. I don't fucking know, man. But it is a weird thing. Another thing that I thought was extremely weird at the end of the movie, but then after I got out, realized it all and was like, oh, that's fucking super dope, was the Groot thing. Groot saying, we love, I love, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Groot speaks English all of a sudden. There's one line at the very end of the movie, he says, like, I love you. Or,
I love you guys.
I love you guys. Perfect English. Just Vin Diesel says, I love you guys. The Iron Giant himself is talking to you. And it's that moment of like, what the fuck was that? That's really fucking weird. I don't
when did
really
he learn
like
how to
that.
do that?
I don't like that. And thank God it's the end of the movie that he's starting to do that shit.
Uh-huh.
And then I get out, and then I get a text from my buddy that's like, dude, we can understand him because we've now grown up with him for so long. We've learned his language.
Yes.
It's like,
in the
that's
scene,
actually fucking awesome.
It is amazing.
That's super cool. But again, something I'm glad, like midway through, all of a sudden Groot wasn't speaking English. Like, you get one little cool little Easter egg bullshit, and I think James Gunn has even confirmed like that's kind of the reason and all that. Weird in the moment because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but cool.
I agree. I didn't get it at first either. It wasn't until so Gamora was saying something, and
she's like, "You guys are just making up what he says."
She says that earlier in the movie, or the middle point of the movie, and then at the end of the movie, he walks up to her and says, "I am Groot," because that's all he says, and she responds back to him normally, in a sense of she understood what he said. So when he says, "I love you guys," I was like, "Oh!" It kind of snapped in my head of like, I understand what he's saying now too.
I'll admit it.
Deep cut.
I didn't for a second. I was like, what the fuck was that about? What the hell are we doing here? This is weird. Like, is this just a new, because it is also like King Groot form. He was like different looking. And I was like,
so this was like a growth thing for him.
Yeah, you know, I had no,
he evolved.
No, I just missed that. But again, I think that's a cool deep cut thing. I'm glad we didn't spend a lot of time on it. I'm glad we didn't get Vin Diesel talking throughout this whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's cool. It was a cool little Easter egg, whatever you want to call it.
Drax and Nebula, they stay on Nowhere. They're taking care of the kids
they're like
that were
the sheriff and the fucking mayor, pretty much now.
And it's awesome because Drax was the only one that understood all these kids. The Joop Joop.
Yeah, dude.
And it was cool because the whole movie, she's pretty much ragging on Drax of just being an idiot and not adding anything to the team. And Mantis defends him, saying that he loves us and he protects us. What more do we want from our family that we have?
Mantis and Drax shit.
Yes, and
which I'm glad that they actually kind of broke. They didn't break them up because they still had their moments, but it wasn't always Mantis and Drax, because that in the holiday special got so annoying for me.
It was.
That shit got so fucking annoying.
And he tried at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, who's going to take care of you? Your weak and puny body.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got to do this on my own. So that's Mantis's ending, is that she wants to be by herself.
Correct.
She wants to not be with Ego or the Guardians.
She wants to just do her own thing. And what's awesome about the Guardians is talk about a fucking movie where, I mean, not all of them, but most of these Guardians actors, for real, don't need the Guardians anymore in their life.
True.
It was a big launching point for a lot of them, but a lot of these people are years beyond playing superhero type roles.
Mm-hmm.
Where that's what's awesome about this too, because it feels like an actual ending. Because it's not like, oh, these are a bunch of no-name actors, or these are a bunch of actors who this is the only thing that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we know Dave Bautista's not coming back for Drax. We know that. You know what I mean? Zoe Saldana, she's in everything and anything she wants to be in. She can give Gamora up tomorrow.
And her ending was so good.
And again, so you know what I mean? Like, you look at these people, and like even Chris Pratt. Like again, we get the thing at the end that's like, hey,
The legendary Star-Lord will return. Yeah.
Which again, it's like, oh man, I thought this was fucking over.
I'm gonna assume Secret Wars. I was gonna ask, when do you think he's coming back?
Probably Secret Wars. Which again, if they give us enough time off, it could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this feels good because it's not tied in with everything. Don't start tying these fuckers back in. We know Bradley Cooper don't give a fuck about fucking Guardians, really. Like, yeah, he collects those paychecks. I'm sure he likes it and all that.
He said he's gonna go where James Gunn goes, so I'm assuming he's going to DC next.
Probably. That's cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, so he's not, all these guys, like, they don't need Guardians, so it felt like an actual ending, because it felt like a lot of these actors aren't going to be dying to come back to Guardians when in 2 years, when Marvel's like, you know what, psych on that end thing, let's bring you guys all back. I feel like a lot of these guys are going to be like, no, we're done with Guardians. Which, sometimes we need that, man.
Would you want a Groot and Rocket Guardians movie? Maybe see Adam Warlock do a little more, Kraglin?
Not really. I mean,
I agree.
like
I don't want it
maybe
either.
a Disney release or something, I would probably watch it, but is it something I need? Like, no, this falls under the category of not everyone needs their own movie. It's not a disrespect to the character and all that, but like, we just don't need it.
I think it'll be interesting to maybe see Adam pop up, because I want to. They fucking underutilize Adam Warlock so much in this movie that I kind of want to see him in something more, just him. Maybe in like the Marvels movie that's going to be coming out.
I'm sure he'll pop up
somewhere.
But then again, he might not, because
he's
like,
got
Will Poulter's like also like that. He's a big hitting actor.
He's got a 3-picture contract with Marvel. Yes.
Well, then that makes sense.
So
he's going to show up in he'll probably show up in the Marvels bullshit, and then they'll probably use him in some other tie-in kind of little thing.
We talked about the High Evolutionary compared to Kang a little bit, and who knows?
He's a great villain.
He was really cool.
I liked how his like fucking face comes off at the end, and like it's Rocket. Rocket fucked up his real face when he was like younger. Because that's what's also funny watching young Rocket is like, Rocket as an adult and how he's just a fucking wild man. He's crazy. He's angry. He's down to fight. So watching him as a kid, you were like, at some point, he's gonna snap and become like Rocket, and then like all his fucking cute friends die, and which is one of those moments where, as soon as you realize in the trailer when you see the otter and the trailer and Rocket fucking hug, and you're like, this has got to be some big reunion moment at the end of the movie. It's like one of the first scenes of the Rocket flashbacks, like when they like get reunited, and you're like, oh no, like instantly, like none of these other animals are making it out. Like, I thought this was going to be some crazy, like, reuniting thing at the end. You're like, oh, no, all these dudes are dying. Like, you just know it in your stomach.
I remember reading that, like, Lila was his girlfriend or something like that. And I was like, oh, Lila's got a girl. I even told the girls, I was like, oh,
I saw a cool Twitter thing, too. Did you notice on Adam Warlock's costume, he has that, like, skull?
No, I didn't even notice.
He has, like, a skull on his fucking chest. And people are pointing that it looks like the skull of an otter.
Ooh.
Which would be Lila, which what's-his-face created Adam Warlock, or helped create Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
And, like, would have gifted him the skull of dead Lila.
Oh,
again, this is like a deep cut. People are fucking connecting things. I was like, I like it.
Dark, all right.
Yeah, but again, it was a good bad guy. He screamed every line. He was fucking a piece of shit.
I really liked his line where, I can't remember what character tells him, like, oh, you're just trying to be God or something like that. And he's like, there is no God. That's why I stepped up. And I was like, ooh, shit.
Yeah, Thanos would have slapped the shit out of this dude, bro, by the way. I just throw that out there. Thanos would have beat the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah, I did like him, though. I thought
He was cool.
only because he was better than Kang, of what we've seen Kang so far. We haven't got to see Kang to his full potential.
He was cool.
Who knows if we're ever going to get to see Kang to his full potential anymore. Jonathan Majors. But
he was cool.
We'll see what's going on with that. Favorite scene? I'm assuming most of us have. I mean, that fucking hallway scene is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that was my favorite action. And then, like I said, when he was going on how he's fucking fucked now because of the magic cliff and how Gamora got thrown off a magic cliff and now this chick's back. I'd never laughed that hard in a Marvel movie in my life. Like, and again, I laughed so hard I don't even remember what the fuck I was laughing at. But
there's a really good delivery. I don't know if I have a favorite scene. I'd have to rewatch it a couple times.
You know what? And it was released early, but like him saying fuck, everyone was like, oh, Marvel said it. And they leaked it early. And I watched it when it came out early. I tried not to watch it, and I came across it eventually. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of stupid. In the movie, though, hilarious.
I thought it was fucking hilarious,
again,
too.
It was one of those things, I saw it out of context and was like, here we go. We're going to try too hard. But in the movie, like, Peter Quill's like not as fun Peter Quill as he usually is. So when he tells like at that point in the movie when he tells Nebula like, dude, just open the fucking door, it's hilarious because Peter Quill's just done with the Guardians bullshit. It's like, dude, I'm sad about my girlfriend. I'm hungover all the fucking time. Like just fucking, you're a robot that's supposed to be this smart. You can't open a goddamn door. Like this is.
It had to have been an improv line that James Gunn was just. I'm assuming James Gunn didn't write a fucking.
No, they were probably just saying a ton of things, and he was like, Chris was like, because I've seen his Park and Rec out.
Oh yeah,
out.
I've seen a few. Yeah,
he's fucking hilarious. So I'm sure he was like, I'd probably tell her just open the fucking door, and James Gunn's like, just say it. And then they did it, and it just ended up on the cutting floor. Yeah.
But there's a delivery that Nebula gives, which is another reason, like you had brought up, that she was just great in this movie. So it's when Nebula, Drax, and Mantis are stuck on the High Evolutionary ship, and Peter had just saved Rocket, and you hear Rocket's voice in the background, and Nebula has this stutter in her voice, and because she realizes that they saved him, he's alive. And that was another moment that I cried. I was like, oh my God.
It's also a low-key hilarious moment because then Nebula and Peter get into it because they're on the ship going up. And he's like, where the fuck are you? She's like, we're on the ship to save you. He's like, dude, we got off the ship.
Yeah.
She's like, why would I just assume you got off the ship? He's like, you should know by now. I am Peter Quill. I always figure a way to get out of very stupid situations.
Yeah.
And then instantly Peter Quill's like, well, we got to go back up. We got to go get them off that ship. And it's like, this is why you love the Guardians. Because it's bullshit and they don't care, man.
Because Groot says, I am Groot. And they're like, whoa, you jumped from how many feet? It was a good scene. It was funny. MVP of this movie. Who was the best?
Nebula. I'm giving it Nebula, dude. She's a character that I've never cared for a second. That in this movie, I was like, she's fucking killing it in this movie.
Outside of Rocket, because I've heard some small talk of that he's going to be one of the first animated actors to be nominated for supporting role.
No way.
That's what I heard.
No way.
That's the rumor of her, and I think he did a good job. I think he did a great job. I wouldn't be opposed to it. They fucking have,
I don't mean to be disrespectful at all, because it's a great comic and all that, but for what? Half the movie he's fucking passed out. The other half he's a little juvenile infant.
Oh man,
does he even Rocket? Does he do the young voice of Rocket?
I'm not sure on that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I doubt he did. I bet you Bradley Cooper was so expensive. That's why young Rocket is so much in the fucking young flashbacks. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what's he gonna like to win an Academy Award?
He's nominated.
But that's what I'm saying. For
dude, they fucking nominated a lot of shit people in this newest one.
Crazy. I think, and again, I'd love to see more people get nominated for this kind of shit. But it's like, what?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think that he did a good job.
And again, I love Rocket in this movie. I love this movie. It's a great movie. But I mean,
I think I'm gonna give my MVP to Chris Pratt though. I think Chris Pratt did a phenomenal job in this movie. And like you had said, this is probably some of the best acting that he's ever done in a film. Yeah. I know he did a great job on Parks and Rec. This is a different character completely, but I think he did a really good job in this movie.
It looks like Bradley Cooper does adolescent and adult versions of the character. It's just baby Rocket that is different. Okay. Somebody named Noah Raskin.
Still, I'm giving him a nomination. Hey, I mean, good for you, Bradley, but I don't know about the nomination. I think Bradley would agree with me on this one.
Stan Lee cameo. Do you know where you would put a Stan Lee cameo?
I was thinking about this throughout it. I can't pinpoint the scene exactly because I thought the scene was going to be bigger than it actually was, but at some point they're all playing poker, and the dude from the beginning that Peter sells that tries to sell the Infinity,
The Orb 2, yeah.
the Orb 2, and the guy's like, no, this is from fucking
the dude with the eyebrows.
with the spiky
Yep.
eyebrows. When they're all sitting at the poker table, I was like, this is where Stan Lee is. Like, this is a perfect Stan Lee to win the pot, have some fucking little joke. Like,
that would have been a good
that is
one.
my, like, cameo type thing.
I like that. Sam, did you have a spot?
I would do something more heartwarming and funny. So the part where their rocket saves the animals and they're all running onto the ship and you see all like the miscellaneous Ravengers like, oh, this is a lot more than we thought, going back to nowhere. And I feel like he would just be along for the ride, kind of standing there, and like all the little baby animals or the little raccoons would just like jump on him, like almost like a father figure in a way, you know. And he just kind of stumbles back, like, oh, you know, like happy to have pets or something.
That was a weird scene too.
I feel like that'd be cute.
All Noah Ark, like, oh, save the animals, and then the dude got his fucking face clawed off right off the bat.
Oh yeah,
that was wild.
My Stan Lee cameo, I would have put on Orgoscope. So there's a scene where Mantis touches the dude's hand and says, "You're madly in love with Drax."
Yeah,
I would have made Stan Lee the cop who has to come on to Drax and be like, "Oh, look at you, you're so cute," or whatever he says to him.
That dude was hilarious.
I would have put Stan Lee as that guy. So for the MCU, what kind of tier are we gonna put this in? Is this a top tier MCU?
This is in the top tier MCU. From what the MCU's becomes for me, especially, this is top tier.
I agree. This is a top tier. For me, I probably give this movie like an A-. How would you rank the trilogy? Are you putting this? A lot of people have been
1, 3, 2.
1, 3, 2.
Yeah, I don't really like 2 that much, to be honest. If we're being honest with it.
I agree.
And 3's damn good.
2 is good. I do look. 2 grew on me a lot because Zosha was watching it a lot when it was at the time. So it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome type thing where I was kind of forced into liking it. Sam, where do you put this?
my original was 132.
132.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody about this movie because we were just talking about trilogies, comic book trilogies, and what's the best one.
It's a good one.
And a lot of people say The Dark Knight. And now most listeners will probably know my gripe with the Dark Knight trilogy is that, in yours as well, is that Dark Knight Rises, there's a lot of shit that just falls apart in that last film.
It's such a good trilogy, though.
And then for me, The Dark Knight, for a movie called The Dark Knight, there was way too much Joker. I like the Joker. I love Heath Ledger's performance, but I wanted more Batman in my Batman movie. So that kind of falls apart for me. I'm not saying that it's a shit trilogy by any means. I still enjoy it, but I think as a trilogy that I'm going to watch, my favorite is probably these Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Damn, you think this is better than the Dark Knight trilogy?
Absolutely. In my opinion, yes.
It has more rewatchability, I think.
I don't
Just
know.
because it's...
I can't. Let me get... Folks...
Oh,
Matty loves to do this shit because he loves to get me in a fucking polar. I have to make me try to do this shit. I really, really, really like Guardians 3. Really like Guardians 3. I'm not going to say this comes to the fucking Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
I think it's a very good trilogy, but yeah, I just want to touch on that real fast of what I thought the best, or what we think the best comic book trilogies were. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can't give you Dark. I can't.
Hey,
do that.
That's my opinion.
I know. I'm just saying I can't do it. I have one last Guardians fact. This movie holds the record now for most prosthetics used in a feature film, with 22,500 pieces of prosthetic. The last one that hold the record was the Grinch.
Wow.
Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a fun little Guardians fact. It's now holds a record.
What format did you see it in?
IMAX.
IMAX. It was great.
It was awesome. It's not, again, though, I hate saying this about Marvel movies, but if you don't see it in theaters, not the end of the world.
We saw this IMAX 3D, and I enjoyed the 3D. Sam and the girls didn't get much out of it, but my thing was that I like seeing space movies in 3D, the depth of space. I enjoy that, so that's why I wanted to see it in 3D, and I enjoyed it in 3D, but you don't have to see it in 3D. But I do recommend seeing it in theaters. I think that with Marvel's track record, this is one that you'll want to see in theaters since, like, Shang-Chi was the last good one, I think.
Yeah, and I disagree with that. This one was by far the best, like, money spent one in a long time.
But yeah, absolutely, everybody, go see this movie. Now we're going to head off to our read, play, watch to let everyone know what we're reading and playing and watching recently. It's going to be fun to hear what Tyler's playing because it's been a while since I've heard what he's playing. But for my read, I was going to go with one that just came out. It's called Disney Villains Scar. It's like a side story of how Scar got the idea to kill Mufasa. It's a brand new comic that just came out. I'm gonna kick that aside right now though, because I just finished today. It's Batman 351, and it is the 900th issue of Batman, and it is so fucking good. People can pick this up. You won't know exactly what's happening, but he dives into a multiverse and he goes through a bunch, which obviously it's the multiverse fad that's going on right now.
Is this the shark repellent shit?
This is the shark repellent shit.
I saw a clip of this and I was like, they did it.
I'm not going to reveal all the shit that happens, but yes, there's a shark repellent scene. There's an Adam West.
It's just one single issue?
It's one single issue. It's a 900. There's a bunch of different variants.
Variant covers and
Yeah,
stuff?
there's some cool
Is there a shark
ones.
one?
There's not a shark one because they don't want to reveal who is actually in it, but there's one variant cover that has a bunch of different Batman, even Batman that weren't even in this issue. They just drew them on there. Like I believe Robert Pattinson's on the cover and everything. Cool. It's a really cool issue. Kind of heartfelt. I got kind of moved towards the end of it, but it's the conclusion to a storyline that they were doing. So like the past 12 issues. But it was very good, and I highly recommend it. I think I want to say it's Batman 351, but if not, you can go into any comic book store and say, hey, where's the newest Batman issue? It's issue 900. Technically, it's issue 900, but it's issue 351, I believe. So check that out if you guys are big Batman fans and just want to have a piece of memorabilia. Say you have the 900th issue of Batman. It's pretty cool.
I started reading DC vs. Vampires.
Oh, okay. How far did you get?
I only read the first issue.
Okay. Still amazing.
And the first issue, the ending of it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I was like, because they kind of give you the nice little twist, like tease. They lead you one way, and it turns out to be something different. And I was like, yes, this is the DC I know. And also, I owe it. The older I get, the more and more I love Lex Luthor. I'm just gonna say that. I just like, if he wasn't like he's Batman, but the bad version of just like, dude thinks of everything. Like, dude literally is just like, he's so fucking smart.
Steps
like,
ahead
on a different level than everyone else. I fucking love it. And so I just finished the first issue. I know some people really, really liked it. Some people said that it kind of falls off as it keeps going. I'm going to keep reading though. But the first issue, little boring in the beginning, a little weird, but like once it started getting rolling, I really enjoyed the first issue.
I think you'll enjoy the series. In my opinion, it does fall off a little bit, but it's still a good ending and it's still a good story for sure.
Nice. Play. So ironically, I've just started to be able to play video games again because I've been gone for a month and a half. So I've missed games actually a lot. But a couple days ago, the Marvel Midnight Suns, one of my favorite games I've talked about, they finally released Storm. Storm is now available. That's the last playable character that was for DLC. There's been hints that there's going to be a second DLC season, so 4 more characters are maybe coming, but it's nothing confirmed. So I'm hoping, because the game just is getting better and better, and they keep fixing a lot of stuff, and Storm is fucking awesome. Every character they've released. So this season was Deadpool, Venom, Morbius, and now Storm. All of them fight completely different. All of them have awesome storylines, and all of them are fucking really fun to play. So I've had a lot of fun with that. And then the game I've been playing, that's not just that DLC, because that just came out, is Dead Island. So Dead Island 2 just came out. And everyone's freaking out about Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 on PC is only available through the Epic Store, and I only buy shit off Steam, basically, my Steam stuff. So they have a contract with Epic for a year, so I'm not going to be able to play Dead Island 2 until like a year from now. That's how most Steam games are. So Dead Island 1 was on sale for $2, so I picked that up. We all know on this show now that if it's under $5, Gambit's going to play it. So I picked it up, and it's so fun. It's an old game, but again, you're stranded on a fucking island. You can basically make weapons out of a bunch of shit, and you're just running around different cabanas trying to help people and trying to find things as zombies attack you and you kill them. It's a very straightforward zombie game, open world, a lot of. I'm having a ton of for $5. I'm having a fucking blast.
Nice,
dude. And it holds up. It doesn't feel like it's a little clinky. It's a little old feeling, but
the game's like fine. 10 years old.
Yeah,
now,
it's an old game.
2011.
Yeah,
damn.
So, that's old.
Yep.
But having a ton of fun. So I believe it's free on some things, and other things, like I said, on Steam, it was just on sale for $2. So
nice.
Check it out if you don't want to get the new one right away. You want to wait on it, because I'm sure that'll be on sale in a couple months.
So. Oh yeah. For my watch, I watched Scream 6.
Oh, how was it?
Fucking awful.
Oh no.
I
didn't see it.
I wanted to watch Scream 5 almost immediately, and I thought Scream 5 was awful. Scream 6 is real fucking bad.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing.
Matty's getting his haterade on. He's been waiting for this moment.
Dude, I've heard so many people say that they were so glad that they took this movie out of Woodsboro and brought it to New York. The only thing that makes this movie New York is there's a scene on a subway. There is no Times Square. There's no Brooklyn Bridge. There's no Statue of Liberty.
Maybe that just
there
makes
ain't
you a
shit.
fucking tourist New Yorker, though.
Yeah, but
You're not from New York.
What's the
How many
point-
times
what's
you
the
been
point
to
of-
New York?
once. But what's the point of making
Maybe
it New York?
Like, fucking, you're the asshole that wants the Statue of Liberty in all the New York movies.
I just don't know what the point of making it New York was.
I'm
then.
just trying to pick things up. I don't know. I haven't watched Scream 5 or 6.
So the performances were pretty fucking fantastic, though.
Yeah. Well, Jenna Ortega.
And this is so a lot of people have been on Jenna Ortega for a while, and I just wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting it. I had never seen her really perform in anything. I didn't watch Wednesday, so I was like, whatever. It's Jenna Ortega. After watching Scream 6, because I'd watched Scream 5 as well, but I wasn't impressed by her. But when I watched Scream 6, I was like, oh wow,
She's good in X, too.
I kind of get it now. I still haven't seen X
And
either.
X is interesting, too, because she kind of plays a plain character. Like, she's
Okay.
supposed to be the plain, like, Jane. That's why you're like... when you're an interesting, plain character, that's when you're like, this person knows how to act.
I gotta watch that series still.
I love X
Those
was
movies.
fantastic.
But yeah, there was like a one-liner Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking one-liners after every kill, and it was just stupid. I'm like, this is silly. Why are they doing this? It was really gory. It wasn't like most Scream films, which I was like, okay, I get it. They're trying to cater to what young
New
kids,
age,
the new age shit. But
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it doesn't feel like Scream, and I just don't like these characters, and I don't like what they're
you don't
doing with
like
them.
Scream to begin with, so...
I like the first one.
I understand
yeah,
that, but you've been like, you could probably go back to our last 4 episodes and you've been like, yo, fuck Scream. So I understand. You're not liking Scream 6. This makes sense to me.
Yeah. So I guess, it's not a surprise. I wish they would just do what they did with like the Halloween series and just say, you know what?
Don't get us started on that again.
No, not like that. But I just wish they would reboot it with a sequel and just call it Scream 2 and just erase everything that fucking happened with Scream 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
But yeah, so Scream 6 is my watch, and I didn't enjoy it. So if you guys did enjoy it, let me know. You can come argue with me if you want, or you can come and we could touch tips because we fucking hate it together.
My watch. I watched a ton of shit while I was in California. That's one thing I did.
Yeah,
We watched
I
movies
remember.
all the time, and I went to the theater quite often. Last time I talked about John Wick, I was finally a John Wick guy, the Baba Yaga. And the Mario movie was lit, dude.
I've heard
saw
mixed things
Mario.
about it, but yeah.
It was so good. I don't see if you're a kid, I don't see how you don't have the most fun of your life.
Was this better than the Lego movie for like kid wise? I know they're very not comparable, but
Probably, honestly.
okay.
Probably, honestly. Like, there's just so much shit. And then, like, there's so many video game shout outs for me, like, growing up of just, like, fun video game things. They're very self-aware. I'm on a big self-awareness kick of, again, like, I watch Cocaine Bear as well. And, again, I alluded to that earlier, that it's self-aware. The Mario movie knew what it was doing. It also knew what people were going to look and try to pick apart and try to be negative about it, and they were ready for it. They were just ready off the bat of like, we know you're gonna make a joke about this, so we're gonna Eminem you and like make a joke about it first,
Oh, okay.
and then you're disarmed. They did that the entire movie, and fucking Jack Black, the Peaches song, as everyone knows, has gone fucking
Yeah.
wild. You know what? You want to talk about Oscars? That is going to end up winning Song of the Year, and that's going to be hilarious when it does.
I mean, if he's nominated, he's at least going to have to play
you
it.
literally walk out of the theater like everyone around us, and we were in a full theater, kids and everything. So
Nice.
kids were having the time of their fucking life.
Oh, that's
We
cool.
had a little girl; she was way too young to like, but you know, it's Mario, so whatever.
Yeah.
She's real young, and anytime Bowser would show up on stage, oh no! She would just scream at the top of her lungs, oh no!
That's great.
And the whole theater would fucking crack up. Like, it was hilarious. It was a great time. It's a heartfelt movie. It was funny, and it also was like adult joke. Like, I went with like six people in their 30s, and we all had a fucking blast.
Oh, that's cool.
So I highly recommend Mario.
That's
I'm sure that'll
actually-
be coming out soon.
It's actually available on digital download right now. You
shit.
can
There you
watch
go.
it right now. So
It was great. We owe Chris Pratt an apology because he was fucking...
you liked him.
Oh, he was so good as Mario.
Oh, cool.
He was so
Okay.
fucking good as... I mean, they were all very good, but like Chris Pratt was the one that everyone was like fuck Chris Pratt. He shouldn't have a job. We need to apologize. He was awesome as Mario.
Oh man,
Yep.
we don't have to watch this movie this weekend.
Yeah, the girls will love it. There's not, even if they're not like Mario gamers or anything,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's just a fun adventure.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yep. And for our next episode, we're going to do Across the Spider-Verse, the new sequel to the animated Spider-Man movie, which is supposed to be the craziest shit that's ever been done. Like 400 Spider-Man, 800 animation styles. So we will be covering that in June. It comes out June 2nd, so make sure you see that when it comes out, because we will have an episode in June sometime covering all of that, because I'm sure that's going to be some wild shit. Love the first one. Huge fan of the first one. This one feels very ambitious, but I'm hoping they pull it off, because my mind was blown on the first.
I regret not seeing it in the theaters, the first one.
I sat down in theaters, I believe with Lauren, and we were sitting there, and it was like, I don't know what we're getting into, and within the first 15 minutes, I was like, holy shit. This is moving art, like comic book at its finest.
Like I said, I think we're gonna go see it at that giant screen at the Batavia Imagine. Cool. So we're stoked to see that. Maybe this one will rival and be one of the best comic book trilogy movies.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
Yeah, true.
We'll be talking about it. We'll talk about that on the end of that episode. But until then, Sam will let you guys know where you could hang out with us at.
You know where to find us. Come to our Facebook page. We're always posting our nerd news on there, our read, play, watch, if you want to find some of our recommendations that we have for you. Twitter has some of those similar posts as well. Twitter, we are at NNWHpod, and our Facebook page is just No Nerds Were Harmed. You can find us on any podcast form of listening, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want to find us. For our gamers, go ahead and find Tyler on Twitch. He is Gambit the Goon. So yeah, if you're already listening to us, awesome. Thank you. We appreciate you. Tell your friends about us so they can find us and come talk to us about movies. It's our favorite thing to do.
That's right, and that's all we got for you guys. So we hope you enjoyed the episode, because we enjoyed making it for you. So until next time, stay nerdy. I'm Matty.
Tyler, catch you in the next one.